We're very grateful for the opportunity this has given us. It's really making it possible for us to do those pilot studies that we need to gather some of that preliminary data that will really lead to us to another round, likely of funding, but lead to the clinical applications. So for us, it's really given us an opportunity to get up and running immediately without any delay in our research. Well, thank you very much. It's really a privilege to be able to be here in Dr. Bourne's stead. And I'm really thankful for everyone who's made it possible for us to receive this award. It means a lot to us. It's really opened up a door for us to take what was a basic science research project that we've been working on through the VA for the last 6 years and now move it from the benchtop into the clinical setting. And that really means a lot because that's what's really needed today. The standard of care for fracture healing is the one that was just mentioned, that was used in World War II and developed in Germany. It's an intermedullary nail. It's a nail that's put inside of a fracture. And we want to take that another step further by introducing surface changes, as it was said, that make that encourage healing while at the same time preventing infection. As it was mentioned, Chris Bourne is just coming back from Port-au-Prince, Haiti, as part of the relief effort. And he was there, of course, working under adverse conditions with minimal supplies. And that's the type of commitment that he brings to this type of research. You know, he's been there for the last almost 2 weeks now. I'd like to give a brief background of the problem that we're here to solve in our research program. You know, it's been said that necessity is the mother of invention, and has already been mentioned that the modern combat conditions have spawned a lot of advances in medical research, ones that we enjoy today. Maybe some that weren't mentioned were, the invention of antibiotics and blood transfusions, the vascular surgery, and even the use of emergency airlift transport. These are all medical advances that have come out of combat situations and ultimately benefit us, the civilian population. Today, the use of body armor has saved many, many lives in modern combat, but at the same time, it has created an additional problem, and that is there's the medical challenge of bringing wholeness to these people who have had really traumatic injuries to their extremities. There's a challenge to treating these fractures because they're complex in nature. Most of them are open fractures or compound fractures where they're exposed to the environment. You have the introduction of debris from blasts. They have a high rate of infections that we don't see in the fractures that take place here in civilian situations. I mentioned that the cause of this is the things like the IEDs and the high energy munitions. Fractures are still healed in the same way they have been for quite a long time with metal devices, metal rods and screws. And I think the method was already mentioned, but what we're trying to do now is take it another step further. A real problem that I've noticed as a researcher is a lot of the medical devices we're using are based on 50 and 100-year-old technology. Stainless steel implants were developed for marine applications, that material. And the titanium we use for implants is landing gear technology from 50 years ago. And so there's a need for someone to step in and begin to fund the next generation of implants, the next generation of treatments that are going to better serve our military men and women. One thing that was noticed by our surgeons was the need to introduce this activity into implants. Up until now, we've looked at implants as being something that were inert. You wanted something that didn't react in the body. But what's been the trend today is a real call for implants that actually encourage and help the healing process and don't just provide mechanical stability. I want to mention a couple of things about our specific project. I mentioned already that this is technology we've been working on for 6 years. It was developed at Brown University. We're using metal oxides and polymers. I don't want to bore you too much with the science of it, But we're using metal oxides and polymers. We found out that these materials have a drug-like response without being drugs. They can control healing. They can control bacteria growth. And we want to apply that research to very specific devices and see them come into the market so that people can benefit from them in the short term. And that's one of the things that the Airlift Foundation is really enabling. They're enabling us to take that next step to go out of the laboratory and head towards the clinical environment. Our first year is going to be spent optimizing these materials for fracture fixation for extremities. And then in the second year, we're going to be applying them to preclinical models where we'll be testing their effectiveness against infected fractures that are similar to what's being experienced in the war conditions. And so we really just, again, like to thank Airlift for making this possible for us to receive this award. And we'd like to thank you for your time and your attention. Thank you.